हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक। ट्रंकेटेड वीक था, मिड वीक में छुट्टी थी और जब हम वेंसडे को मार्केट क्लोजिंग करके गए थे, सिचुएशन कुछ और थी। और थर्सडे की छुट्टी में बड़ी हेल्पलेस फीलिंग आई, क्योंकि वेंसडे हमारी वेंसडे रात को जो यूएस गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से अनाउंसमेंट आया और ट्रम्प एज यूजुअल अपनी बातों से कैसे रिवर्स जाते हैं, कैसे पलटते हैं। बहुत दुख हुआ कि थर्सडे को छुट्टी थी। दो यूजुअली जिस तरीके की मार्केट कंडीशन चल रही थी, थर्सडे की छुट्टी अच्छी लग रही थी, बट उस अनाउंसमेंट के बाद खराब लग रही थी। तो चलिए, दिस वाज समथिंग दैट ऑल ऑफ अस माइट हैव यू नो गॉन थ्रू। बट कंफ्यूजन अभी भी बना हुआ है चाइना की सिचुएशन को लेके और ट्रंप के कंफ्यूजन को लेके। मार्केट भी कंफ्यूज ही लग रहा है। प्रीवियस क्लोजिंग के बहुत पास आके क्लोज हुआ है। तो जब भी हम कंफ्यूज होते हैं तो क्या करते हैं, जाते हैं एके के पास। गुड इवनिंग।
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
एज यूजुअल कंफ्यूज्ड।
Confused, yes. In fact, this week most people would have been confused. I would have been confused if I was trading, to be honest. But yeah, but with given the volatility, I preferred to stay away. Definitely, did not. I did not take any positions this week. Not even intraday. It was very wild. I thought that maybe when it settles down, uh, then I can take a position. But this whole week went. It did not settle at any point. If you see the what we spoke about last Friday, जब हमारी बात हुई थी and we recorded this video. Uh, if you remember clearly, that time China had not announced a retaliation tariff, so things were not looking so bad. In fact, if you remember that, I also said that one must not go short, and it will be on the positive to range bound side. It will be volatile but positive to range bound. Cut to half an hour later, China announces the retaliation tariff, and things change drastically globally. ये मैं लास्ट फ्राइडे की बात कर रहा हूँ. फिर हम मंडे को खुलते हैं. अच्छा, रचित, इफ यू हैव नोटिस्ड इन द पास्ट व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज इफ अ न्यूज़ कम्स इन आफ्टर मार्केट आवर्स, you know what happens is the traders, they take time to, they get the time to analyze, and then take a call, which has more of a actual correction rather than more of a exaggerated reaction. ओके. तो अगर एक न्यूज़ फ्राइडे शाम को आई है जब हमारा मार्केट बंद हो गया है, और मंडे को मार्केट्स हैव टू रिएक्ट, so I would normally assume that a negative news will be diffused to a great extent. And if if a European market is say 6% down or 8% down, if a Dow Jones future is 1500 points down, उनके कंपैरिजन में अपना मार्केट तक जब बात आएगी, मंडे मॉर्निंग, तब तक वो जो इम्पैक्ट है वो बहुत डाइल्यूट होके हम लोग को हिट हो देगा. इस केस में वैसा हुआ ही नहीं. इस केस में जो इम्पैक्ट था वो पॉसिबली मल्टीप्लाई होके मंडे को हमको हिट किया है. So on Monday we possibly saw the worst fall in a few years. First intraday fall, about 1100 plus point fall on Nifty, something that we had not seen for a long time, and that looked for most people and most traders, that looked like a much more exaggerated kind of a reaction. Even my personal belief was that I don't think this kind of fall is kind of going to sustain. It will bounce back, and especially जब almost 400 पॉइंट रिकवर होके मंडे को जब क्लोजिंग दिया मार्केट ने, so I was pretty confident कि now we will start moving up. You compare the closing of last Friday to this Friday, we have we have taken a trip 1000 point down and 1000 point up. In effect, इस वीक का नेट इफेक्ट मार्केट पे जीरो है. मतलब 100 पॉइंट का फर्क है लास्ट वीक के क्लोजिंग और इस वीक के क्लोजिंग में. और अच्छा, what has happened again, like you said in the beginning, statements are going all to and fro all the time. So so we have a tariff being slapped by US, hoping that China will back down. China retaliates worse. US makes it worse. China again retaliates. Then US backs down, saying that, Achha, but not in case of China. Okay.
But in
इस
case of the
पूरे
world, the entire world,
एंटायर वर्ल्ड में 90 डे का पॉज है. नाउ इस पूरे चीज में एक चीज एस्टेब्लिश हुई है सिर्फ, that whatever statement is being made cannot be trusted.
yes.
It can be retraced. It can be aggravated. It can be nullified also. So basically, there is a lot of certainty which still is there in the market. Any kind of turn of events can happen.
On a lighter note, somehow I have a belief that the ships have stopped hitting the docks. They are standing on the sea itself in between somewhere and wondering as to what tariff at what
Yeah.
pricing will be landing there. So just
Uh,
let's wait and watch and see as to where we get a discounted price, and then only we'll be hitting the shore.
that is quite possible. That is quite possible. So a shipment, when it leaves China to go to the US, when it leaves, it is invoiced at certain tariff, and when it reaches US, it probably the whole thing has changed. So you don't know what is happening. This is just the trade part. Imagine sitting behind a trading terminal and taking a position today. Like for example, if I have to take a position today on a Friday evening, and I have a 3 day weekend coming up, wherein Monday the rest of the rest of the world is open. Okay, and anything can come up this evening, this night, or through the weekend. Anything which can detrimentally change, correct, or push it through the roof. Anything. Would it be advisable to take such a position?
But also one thing more, that we have a super truncated week next week, wherein we are
Yes,
not working on a Monday and we have a off on Friday as well. So
correct.
again, coming back to next week, how do you see, what are we supposed to do, or sit, stay put and do nothing?
I will extend my this week's strategy to next week's strategy. Please do not do anything. Do not do anything. If you are, there are some people who have the tendency to do something. They cannot sit tight. That's also a tendency. Uh, if you are one of those, I request you to just take day positions and wind up in the day. Do not carry anything forward. I will not say that you should, the markets will go at this level, that level, or you should do a long position, short position, because right now we are sitting on a wild horse. We do not know where it is going to go. Acha, best part is this whole week has been so much about focused about tariffs that we have completely missed out on our underlying news flow, इंडिया सेंट्रिक न्यूज फ्लो. तो अगर आप देखें तो कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न बढ़ता जा रहा है. जैसे yesterday was holiday, Indian markets were shut, TCS came out with their results. So, and with the whole global dynamics, a lot of it gets oversighted.
Hmm.
Okay, while TCS came out with the results, they have reported a 1.7% fall in the net income year on year, and the revenue has grown by about 5.5% year on year. So obviously, it makes it clear that their margin is impacted. This is one result. Going forward in the week, we'll have more results. Next couple of weeks, we'll have more results coming up. So it's very important to focus on India centric factors also, how our companies are performing. Eventually, when all this dust will settle on this entire tariff form, हम डिपेंड उस पर ही करेंगे, हमारी वैल्यूएशन डिपेंड उस पर ही करेगी, हाउ आर कंपनीज आर performance. How, what is the flow to the Indian markets? I believe the mutual fund investments are on a 11-month low,
Hmm.
which is again, it's a very, very alarming figure, and it's a cause of concern because Rachit, uh, जीडीपी स्लो डाउन हो, सब हो, आईआईपी स्लो डाउन हो, ये सारे फिगर्स हमने देखे हैं पास में स्लो डाउन कर। हमने पिछले एक साल में एमएफ पे जो पैसा आ रहा था और जीएसटी कलेक्शन, ये दो चीज हमने स्लो डाउन नहीं देखी।
Hmm.
अब ये भी हमें स्लो डाउन दिख रही है।
कहीं ना कहीं इन्वेस्टमेंट सेंटिमेंट जो है वो।
Exactly. So that's the whole point. So that is a cause of concern. So I am not saying that markets will go down, crash down in the coming week, but I'm also saying that I'm not very hopeful. With, especially with year-on-year results coming not up to the mark, and all these figures which actually suggest that the investment sentiment is not great. So I'm not very hopeful on Nifty, क्रॉसिंग। अभी सेकेंड वीक दिया है 23,000 के नीचे क्लोजिंग। तो 23,000 के ऊपर सस्टेन जब तक नहीं करता है, मैं एक फ्रेश आपको टारगेट नहीं दे सकता हूँ आगे का। रेंज बाउंड रहेगा, बायस नेगेटिव है, रेंज बाउंड रहेगा। अगर मुझे एक इंट्राडे ट्रेड करना है, पर्सनली अगर मुझे एक इंट्राडे ट्रेड करना है, मैं भी पोजीशन नहीं रखूंगा। ये तो आई विल वेट फॉर अ डे वेयर द मार्केट ओपन्स अप विद अ स्लाइट गैप अप, and I'll wait for it to correct towards the second of the day. So typically speaking, I would create a short position and wind it up before the day ends, not carry
And if
anything.
and if we have a gap down opening, then are we going long?
No, I will not do that. I'll not do that. I'm just giving an example of myself, what I will do if I was a trader. My understanding is I will not go long in a market which has a bias towards selling. There is a massive selling bias towards the market, in the market right now. So I will not
And
be comfortable taking a long position in this market, even if it is an intraday.
and what would be the levels that we should be looking at?
Again, since we have not crossed 23,000, I look at 23,000 if it sustains in this week. If we have a news flow which is extremely positive, and it gives a V-shaped upside to 23,000 plus, then I don't see it sustaining above that. If we genuinely start seeing good results by Indian corporates, then maybe yes. So I see 23,000 as a cap on the upside. I see 20 again. I'll give you the same 800-point range, 28,100 to 200. Sorry, 22,100 to 200 at the bottom. वो 28,000, सॉरी 22,200 नीचे, और 23,000 ऊपर। 800 पॉइंट की रेंज में आपको अगले वीक के लिए दे रहा हूँ।
And trust me, last week when you gave this range, I was having a very weird feeling in my mind as to what kind of volatility you're looking at. And surprisingly, your VIX index that we usually talk about. And now
Yeah.
I'm feeling so comfortable with 800-point range movement, because what we have seen in this week, it is quite easy and it can
Yes.
just happen, in an hour
Yes.
or two. So now I'm comfortable with your range. But the way VIX has moved, anything that you would have like to comment upon,
VIX,
or
again, last few weeks, uh, before this week, VIX had nicely settled between 12 and 14. तो अगर मार्केट में थोड़ी वॉलेटिलिटी होती भी थी ना, तो 14, 14.5 तक विक्स जाता था, फिर नीचे 12 तक चला जाता था, इफ यू रिमेम्बर। एंड आई थिंक इट स्पेंट अ गुड a month or a couple of months in that range.
right.
So so it got very traders got very comfortable with that. But starting Monday, when that gap down came, that 1100-point gap down, wix jumped 55%. I can
There
see
was
the
a time
chart.
in the day it was up by 68%.
Yes, you're right. I can see the chart in front of me, and I see the jump from 13.7 to 21.3. This is between Friday's closing and Monday's opening. And Monday intraday, even above 21.3, it went up to 23.15. Another 2 point. And after that, for the rest of the week, it settled between 19.6 and 21.4. तो
which is
अगर आप
on a higher side.
हाँ, it's really higher side. Not only it has moved, taken a shift from the 12 to 14 range to 19 to 21 range, बट एक 3 दिन के ट्रेडिंग पीरियड में भी ये 2-2.5 पॉइंट ऊपर नीचे किया है इसने. And it's not like it has just gone one way up, 2-2.5 point. Nah, it has gone up, it has gone down, it has gone up, it has gone down. So that itself suggests that so much volatility is there in the market that again this reiterates that you should not keep a pending position, you should not keep an open position definitely when the world is open to react to statements and we are shut.
No.
uh,
ठीक है. So what we'll do, we'll keep our positions light, and the
yeah,
range for next week would be somewhere in between 21, 22, 100 to 23,000. And
yeah.
it is becoming so difficult because everything is possible. Even if I say
Yes.
21, 100, it might come down to those
Yeah,
levels.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. फॉर पहले पहले हमें क्या लास्ट के 3 फिगर्स की सोचनी पड़ती थी कि ये रेंज रहेगी. अभी चौथा और पांचवा फिगर भी ऊपर और नीचे हो जाता है.
चलिए. So it was amazing talking to you, and we have a truncated week next week, so most probably we'll catch up on next Thursday, and
Yeah,
see. I believe that our focus will shift more towards the corporate numbers and our own growth story, and then we'll be in a better position to see as to where are we heading. Till that time, we are just looking at what Donald Trump is doing on his Truth Social or X, and let's see how the world market behaves. And then
right,
we'll get a time and then we'll react on Tuesday. Till then, we just have to have the 3 day holiday and just see the drama from our TV screens rather than from the terminals. As always, it was amazing talking and knowing as to where are we heading.
right.
Have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.